It's pretty early on Christmas morning, and while I'm normally up at this time, the last thing I'd be doing is jumping in front of a camera. But I saw this as an opportunity to make a video on the challenges of healthy eating over a holiday period and about goal setting for the year ahead. So with 2020 upon us, coming into a new decade, there's a lot of people wanting to have New Year's resolutions, but from my own perspective, I always had difficulties with projecting my goals into the future, and then when that time came around, really easy to slip away. So I just wanted to put down some of my thoughts around this and how I approach the challenges of setting goals and trying to meet them. And a massive part of that for me is being able to maintain a daily discipline, which is exactly why I'm normally up at this time. Even though it's Christmas morning, I'm going to stick to my routine, which means I'm about to jump into a cold shower. Also, I haven't eaten for about 36 hours. Pretty keen to get some food into me, but I'm going to do my yoga and meditation practice first, and I'll explain a little bit more about why I chose not to eat for 36 hours, and I'll make a bit of a vlog throughout the day about how I approach going to family events and being around food that's going to tempt me into eating things that I know isn't going to be the best stuff for me. So I'll do my best to track my day, but it's time to get into it. I've just finished my morning practice of a couple of hours of yoga and meditation, which is something I've been maintaining for the last few years without interruption. And I think that's really important because around this time of year, we're obviously surrounded by so much more social gathering and things like family reunions, Christmas lunches, Boxing Day, all these sorts of things start to add up, and there tend to be opportunity to drink more and eat more and do things that are typically not the best for our health and well-being. And I was always a victim of that, especially around this time of year, always wanting to party a lot more, drink a lot more, because I had in the back of my mind that New Year's was on the way, and in the new year I could get rid of all the bad behavior that I was doing through the crazy period of Christmas. And it took me most of my adult life to realize that that wasn't the best way to approach things. So when I come up to this time of year now, rather than putting things off and telling myself I'm going to sort something out in the future, I tend to try and focus on whatever I'm trying to put off and make a start on it before the new year approaches. And referring back to my last video, I was talking about how I'd recently realized the effect of excessive sugar intake in my diet have been affecting my mood and my mental health. And rather than waiting until next year to do something about that, I've spent the last 40 days of not eating any processed sugars or any excessive sugars like honey and maple syrup and things like that. I've just only been getting my sugar through the fructose of fruit. But being Christmas Day, that's going to be a real test because I'm going to be surrounded by a lot of the things that I really like to eat. Chocolate, cheese, things like this, things that aren't predominantly in my diet. But as I've been becoming more sensitive through my practices of yoga and meditation, I really feel the knock-on effect of eating those things and consuming things that have an effect on my body and my mind, and seeing the long-term effect. It's not just a day or two that I feel the effect of having those things now. It's ongoing. So I've been taking more care of what I put into my body, and that overall has a positive effect on my health and well-being. We see so much in the world nowadays around people suffering with poor physical and mental health and well-being, and that's something that I've definitely suffered with, and that's why I'm always refining those processes, because it's up to me to take care of my own health and well-being. But because I never knew how to do that, I had to go through a long process of learning, and the best things I've learned are from people that have done the same. I think there's so much value in being able to share these things, so I'm going to track a little bit of what I do today, starting with breaking my fast. It's been 36 hours since I've eaten, and that's not because I wanted to empty the stomach so I could eat as much as I wanted today. I wanted to set a good baseline of how it feels with an empty stomach so I could be more aware of what I'm eating during the day and how that affects me. So with that being said, it's time to go break the fast. My day typically starts out with a fruit and veggie smoothie, which usually consists of dark leafy greens, spinach, celery, a cucumber, a bit of capsicum, a pear, some citrus like an orange, an apple, a little bit of frozen ginger. And then the first part is to get the greens cut up and put into a blender, then cut the fruit and veg up and add that in there as well. And at the moment I've got some frozen lemons as well. The blades of the blender typically heat the liquid up, so I always offset that with some frozen berries like strawberries. This will make the basis of the food that I'll take with me today. None of my family or people that I'm visiting today eat in the same manner that I do with a plant-based diet, so there won't be a lot of food offerings on, but that's fine, I don't expect it. I'm happy to go and just be around everybody and enjoy the meal with them. I'll eat what I can, but I'll take this with me just in case, so I've got something to help sustain my appetite over the day. Just come down onto the beach because I haven't been running for the last couple of months, so every morning that there's an opportunity to get out in the water, I've been taking it. So this morning's one of those mornings, not too much wind at the moment, just starting to come up now, so get in there, do a few 100 meters, maybe about 500-600 meters. Not a bad way to start the day. Probably swim out to that post out there. Just swam a few 100 meters offshore. Pretty nice way to start the day. It's still pretty flat out here. Wind's coming up just a little bit more now, but yeah, absolutely beautiful waters. Nice and cool. Should be a nice swim back in. I'm still very new to capturing my thoughts in this way and not the most comfortable person in front of a camera. So going between different functions today and catching up with family and friends, I didn't feel comfortable taking my camera to any of those situations, but ended up having a fantastic day. Managed to keep pretty on track with my diet, my healthy eating. I did make an exception for a couple of chocolates and some cake that was made by people I know, and I really value those kind of experiences and sharing something that somebody's put the time and effort into making out of love and generosity. I think it holds a lot more valuable than just scoffing down on something that's come off the supermarket shelves. And it ended up being really easy to enjoy those much more than I would if I had have just let myself loose on just eating anything that was in front of me. And I've come home feeling really good, and my main goal for today was to be able to come home and do a half-an-hour meditation, because I always notice that when I've eaten foods that aren't great for me and that don't sit well in the stomach, how much that influences my meditation, how agitated it makes me feel. And I feel like I'm quite easily going to be able to sit down for 30 minutes now, and definitely looking forward to the new year ahead. I've got some big things planned to trying to break out with my yoga and meditation teaching, and definitely going to be using this medium to make a lot more videos and a lot more content around my practices of yoga and meditation and the things that I can offer. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel, leave any comments if you've got any ideas or things that you might like to see as things unfold. I definitely want to use this as a means to communicate with people, and really believe that if I can get over my apprehension towards being in front of a camera, it'll only help me grow as a teacher and somebody that wants to deliver the lessons that I've learned in life through dedicated practices of yoga and meditation. So hopefully I can finally make that work in 2020, and that's definitely what I'm aiming for and what I hope to achieve. So stay tuned.